Good morning, dear friends. A warm welcome from Pyramid Valley International and Pyramid Spiritual Society's movement. My name is Ananthi. I'm an engineer by profession and have worked at companies like TCS and Infosys. My meditation journey started about 9 years ago, and I have got great transformations in my life thereafter. In many ways, I'm more positive. I interact with everyone with confidence. I venture out to unknown places with openness. I enjoy friendship with a loving heart. I give life its all my passions and give and see them come true. When I realized that we are all spiritual beings with human experiences, my whole outlook towards life changed miraculously. I became a vegetarian, and like a mesmerizing butterfly out of its cocoon, I enjoy each and every day as it comes. With a heart full of gratitude, I take an immense pleasure in introducing our speaker, Chandra Pulamarasetti, known as PCS to some and as Chandra to many. With 28 years of industry experience, he is a computer scientist, a successful entrepreneur, and was a senior executive with IBM. Spiritually, Chandra is a meditation scientist, a true yogi, a transformational meditation coach, and practicing meditation for the past 20 years. He began his career as a software engineer, grew up the ranks quickly, and co founded a technology company called Sanovi Technologies as CTO initially and then as CEO. Chandra was instrumental in ensuring growth and successful acquisition of his company by computer giant IBM Corporation in the year 2016. He attributes most of the success to the meditational strength and experiences. Chandra learned meditation from his brother Dr. GK, a medical doctor, and met up Brahmarishi Patriji soon after in the year 1999. With regular practice of meditation, reading hundreds of meditation books, and spending time with other meditation masters, he experienced immense benefits in his professional and personal life. He realized early on that all the suffering is because of our self ignorance, and we are creating our realities all the time with our thoughts. He cured his ENT condition. He does not take any medication for the past 2 decades, navigated his company for successful outcomes in spite of going through tough times, almost to the point where it was to be shut down. Chandra took to service with Pyramid Spiritual Society's movement in spearheading meditation for many years and supports several projects, including as board member of Pyramid Valley International, among other. Chandra has a very spiritual scientific approach to matters of meditation and has been exploring the role of quantum physics and neuroscience. With his research and own personal experiences, he is currently focused on enabling corporate professionals, small and medium businesses leaders to entrepreneurs and organizational leaders by his life transforming workshops for personal resilience, career and business growth, and living a purpose-driven life. He dreams of a wonderful. He dreams wonderful of leaders, wonderful of world leaders, a world full of Buddhas, and take responsible actions to establish world peace and greater harmony at the earliest. Chandra is currently working on establishing a non-profit foundation towards this cause. Welcome, sir. It's a great pleasure to listen to you always.
Thank you, Shalini. Thank you, Ananthi, madam.
Thank you, sir.
For a wonderful introduction. Welcome, everyone, for the first digital Corporate Meditation Summit out of India. And first Digital Corporate Meditation Summit by Pyramid Spiritual Societies Movement and Pyramid Valley International. We will have our inauguration with Patriji and several leaders this morning, along with former CBI Director Karthikeyan sir and Bannari Amman Group of Company Chairman Sri SVB sir later in the day. So welcome to this pre-event session on quantum field of infinite possibilities and then tuning into the quantum field of infinite possibilities. We're going to go into deep meditation as part of this session. The way this program is organized is that every session we got meditation. Some are longer, some are shorter. And the meditation that we're going to learn is very, very simple. We all have access to a tremendous amount of information through the internet, through the power of social media, tremendous amount. And we all are constantly reading. What we believe here at Pyramid Valley in PSS Movement is we got to put all of that to practice. And when we practice this simple meditation that we're going to learn today in this session and then several other sessions during the day, when you put that to the practice through the meditation, then we are synthesizing all the information that we learn. And today is going to be another such session, tuning into the quantum field of potentials. I learned meditation in 1999 through my younger brother, who is a medical doctor. So he was teaching me. It was interesting. A medical doctor was trying to teach meditation. And then I met this great master, Brahmarshi Patriji. And in one moment, I got to know that I knew very, very little when it comes to the matters of meditation or matters of creation, the field, the universe. Just know very, very little. I was in this like little frog in that well, thinking that I had a very great, successful career. Writing a lot of code, software code, and feeling great about it. It's great. It was giving me a lot of excitement because I was a computer scientist. Absolutely. I thoroughly enjoyed my job. But however, I realized that I knew very, very little about the whole process, how things are happening, what actually is, what is creating, how are things created, how are we making our life. So after getting in touch with these masters, and I practiced meditation deeply for a couple of months in the year 2002. It took me some time, that time. It took me 3 years I was in the periphery, but then in 2002, when I practiced deeply for a couple of months, deeply means for an hour or so every day, and then read a lot of books. That's the time I realized that happiness or suffering is inside. At the same time, anything that you want or not want is really based on thoughts and feelings. I truly understood at that point when every time I used to hear that our thoughts and feelings create a reality, it didn't make sense before. And when people say that your suffering is due to individual ignorance, it didn't make sense before. That I'm feeling anxious, that I'm feeling worried right now because of this pandemic. And as a result, I'm creating a certain future for me. It didn't make sense before, but then it was clear that time that our thoughts and feelings are creating reality. That as we think is what we are experiencing. But then I understood a little bit of that in that time. Then I started experimenting. It's also called Yadbhavam Tadbhavati. Then I started experimenting about it, into doing more surveys, into getting certain projects in the company. That time I was only thinking around those, which is great. Again, it's giving me satisfaction. But my life became very, very great, happy, joyful because I was in meditating. One of the first things meditation does is to make it we become very highly emotionally intelligent. Our IQ increases, and of all the benefits, so I became quite happy. At least the inner chatter stopped. I realized 90% of the suffering is due to our inner chatter in the mind. So I stopped that. The thoughts that create that suffering, I stopped that. So I was generally been happy in those days. My journey continued. So I went into service where I got the opportunity to work with Patriji and several Pyramid Masters for Pyramid Valley Project, which is an international meditation center out of Bangalore. We're serving millions of people in teaching free meditation. So it is a great experience to be part of a project while I'm continuing my career those days, and learning a lot from several people and constantly living the life. Something that is deeply, deeply, deep inside was gave me that happiness as I was doing the service work. But always very, very target oriented, even in IT, very, very focused, wanting to grow, wanting to exceed, wanting to excel. At the same time, something deep happiness as I was committed to doing this service work, to developing this meditation center. So along the way, along with a few friends, we founded a company, a software company, and we're growing. Through this meditative journey, there are always ups and downs, but the ability to react and then respond to those was great. We learned a lot around how tough you become, how resilient you become. The tough situations come, good situations are always there, great, we can handle, but tough situations come, then how do you handle them? How do you recover from a tough situation and then still perform your best is exactly what is personal resilience. And then I became very, very resilient, highly resilient. And so company was going up and down, startups, software, high intense competition, and trying to find the right space. Not things are very clear. Everything is not clear on the day one. So going up and down. And various challenges that we had during that time, to the point where my company was going to go down completely. We're going to shut down. But then somewhere, some spark came that there is something in it still. You don't have to shut down or you don't have to leave, because especially in this IT world, the competition is so fierce. That spark came because that connectedness, intuitiveness to connect to yourself as a being regular meditator came in, that I should not leave something that I started after about 6 years of starting, that I should not leave this company. I should hold on, perseverance place, and then there's always something good happening. Somewhere, some of the spark came. And then rest was great. After that, when I took the decision, that's the time I came into contact. I went and explored myself more deeply about these abundance principles with the help of Dr. Newton, and taken strong guidance from Patriji about what I should be doing during that time to go forward, because this company was not really going anywhere, to start one next one or go into employment. But then I stayed on with the company and with a very open thought, open possibility that something is going to happen. Just want to live that day. And within a few months, started seeing a lot of changes. We attracted new investors in the form of my deepest friend, Shreyans Daga. And then we started growing the company together. Quite well, it is going on. It's growing, growing, growing. And we tripled our revenues in first 4 years, and we acquired lots of customers, who is who. But then somewhere the company got stuck again. We became flat. Every company goes to it, and then somewhere it's flat. So that's the time I started exploring once again. And then I got to this greatest piece of information by Dr. Amit Goswami and Dr. Joe Dispenza, information about quantum field. Spiritually understood that there is Advaam Tadbhavati, but then I didn't understand scientifically to put that perspective. So that is the time that I got this information through various books, including Self-Aware Universe and then You Are the Placebo and some of those books that time. That there is something called this quantum energy field, the field which has infinite potentials. That everything is energy. And beautifully, everything out there in that field is waiting to happen through some kind of intent. And more importantly, that is the time I learned that we, as this physical body, are really, really empty. We are more empty than what we can ever imagine. So with that understanding, that suddenly that everything is there in the energy field, every possibility, whatever that you wish to have, as a quantum field possibility exists, that it's a matter of how you put your attention onto it. Because scientifically, then there is experimentation that is done, which I understood when I attended a workshop of Amit Goswami in California in those days. And with that information, that everything is happening through observation. So it was a beautiful journey since then, where I got into meditation with a strong, strong intent without ever doubting what we didn't have or had. And then in about 15 months, we had a great, great outcome for the business. And I attribute a lot of this business success as much to my team that we were working together quite a bit, as much to the stronger intents and meditations that myself and some other team members and investors carried out throughout the day, throughout that time. With then strong intention, tuning into this quantum field of energy and information. So what they found in the research, now it's called quantum physics, is that our body has a lot of information being carried very high frequencies at very, very high speeds inside the cells at the subatomic particle level. At the subatomic particle level, that means your electrons in that level, the electrons and in between the electrons, they found that there is lots of information at high frequencies oscillating. And they found that the space between the subatomic particles is vast. There is no mass there. We know that at an atom level, we know that the electron and then the nucleus has mass, but everything else, we know it just orbits and then they're revolving around. So that's just emptiness. They found that when they measured it, that emptiness is 99.999999999 so much, so many nines percentage. They found the actual mass held by that atom is tiny, 0.011 zeros and 1%. For the simplicity, we use 0.01%. They found that the mass is only so less, but everything else is emptiness. And then inside that emptiness, what they found is that it is information traveling at high frequency. And they also found that electron is what we know as electron as only a particle. That means it is like a strong matter. Right? If you take a ball, it's a particle, right? And a mass. But they found that electron as a particle also has a wave nature. It has got duality. It's got the dual nature. It's wave, it's particle both. So it's beautifully what they discovered that that electron is showing up as particle when somebody wanted to see as particle. But otherwise, it's just immediately becoming disintegrating itself into a wave. The wave means it's not one, right? It is disintegrating. It's divergent. Particle is convergent. So convergent, divergent. So it is disintegrating into a wave, and then it just exists as wave, doesn't exist as any more particles. So wave is not something you can see, right? Our radio waves and FM waves and all these, there are various frequencies, modulations, all the waves are there, but we don't see them, right? So now waves. So the electron at the grossest level, at the subatomic particle level, it's really a wave. It's not that mass. They found that. They did the experimentation through what we call a double slit experimentation. And you can refer to Fred Alan Wolf on the internet, beautiful videos about this double slit experimentation. So did this experimentation through the slits. And when they're trying to throw balls through the slits, when you, for example, you have a slit and then you're trying to throw, let's say it's a big enough vertical slit, and you keep throwing, say, marbles, and if you have another side, it's a wall, then you expect it's going to go straight and hit the wall, right? Because a marble is a particle, so it's going to go straight, hit the wall. But they didn't find that when they did the experiment with electrons. With electrons, they found that as it's going, it's not going in a straight line, it's actually forming a band. That means it is wavy nature. It is not necessarily going in a single point, but it is going all over. And it is fine. They formed a band. And then they put two electrons. Then they expected two bands to come, two vertical lines to come. The two vertical lines didn't come. Instead, when you have two waves go, the waves have high amplitude, high and low, high and low. So if two waves come together, high together, then they join and they become bigger. And then if high and low meet, then they cancel. It's like, the waves on in a pond, right? So you you throw a stone, you see waves. But you throw another stone on the other side, and then one is coming into the other, they cancel each other sometimes, and then very quickly it may become still again. Or it can become bigger. Exactly as sea waves. One starts bigger. If another one comes and attached to it, it becomes much bigger. Otherwise, they cancel and suddenly it becomes flat. We've seen that when you've gone to experience sea. It's exactly the same. So these electrons are colliding the waves, and then it became the colliding. So wave. So some places they saw emptiness, some places they saw the bands on the screen. So essentially they proved that there is a wave nature for this electron. So why is it important? In this whole big thing, why is it important? Because we are made up of atoms, atoms are made up of electrons. And because we're made up of molecules, which are made of atoms. And because of cells that we have in the body are made up of molecules. So, and then our organs are made up of cells.